almost 20 years, 19 years. Dr. William Shaw, S-H-A-W. And you can contact them. They have a gluten testing. They have allergy panel testing, immunodeficiency, autism case study, ADHD testing for developmental disorders. And this is something that more than likely your insurance will pay for. They have just a numerous amount of tests that can be blood work and tested. And again, that is Great Plains Laboratory in Lenexa, Kansas. Their address, if you want to write to them, is 11813 West 77th Street, Lenexa, Lenexa, Kansas, 66214. And again, their phone number is 913-341-8949. And you might be able to find out if there is a doctor that they might recommend and or a lab in an area close to where you live, so that you can get this taken care of and quit waiting and wondering. Quit waiting 6 months, 8 months, a year to get your child into an appropriate doctor to evaluate them. This could be a great shortcut. The blood tells no lies. It tells no lies. And if you contact them, I'm sure they have someone in your area that they can recommend. This with all of these drugs are really not an answer. This does boil down to, it really is, again, it is time to take control of what you have the ability to take control of. And that is what you feed your children, what you feed yourself. And you're either going to build health and healthy tissue, or you're going to destroy it and damage it. The problems with Ritalin is, it may cause even more severe health problems, such as cancer, if it's taken for prolonged periods of time. A small university in Texas concluded in 2005 it showed damage to the chromosomes of 12 children who had taken Ritalin for just 3 months. So a very small study with 12 children. It was conclusive at the end of it that they all had chromosome damage. The potential of Ritalin to cause cancer has been known for much longer. Back in 93, there was a national toxicology program released results that showed that Ritalin levels close to what is routinely prescribed to children induces liver tumors, including rare and highly malignant cancers. There are things that we were given, the B complex, the gotucola, lecithin, the DHA that's found in the lecithin, the variety of the color palette of the food that we were given. There's other herbs. There's essential oils of frankincense, myrrh, chamomile, hops. These are all things, ADD, autism, that can be used with these children. Feed and nourish their bodies. Give them the nutrients they need so that they can feel calm, have a better attention span, focus on what they need to do. By getting them to feel better and them focusing, you'll notice improvements with contact and eye-to-eye contact and being able to control themselves better. No emotional outbursts. If they do have a problem with emotional outbursts, that this is something that seems to kind of wane and go away. ADD and ADHD can be extremely hard to diagnose. It has many diverse symptoms, leaving it open to much interpretation or misinterpretation. It means that countless numbers of children or adolescents who could simply be bored or immature may be misdiagnosed with ADD, ADHD. There was a time when, teachers in charge of 2 and 3-year-olds in a daycare setting may ignore a particular child's developmental needs in preference to maintaining a prescribed level of classroom conformity. Children who act up, they're just labeled as problems that need to be resolved. With the advent of the drugs such as Ritalin and Concerta, it's easier than ever for a teacher, caregiver, a doctor to decide that merely restlessness, a distracted student, requires drug intervention to solve their behavioral issues. Few caregivers know enough to challenge a doctor's diagnosis, even if it wasn't wrong. And even fewer want to spend additional time trying to solve the complex problems of the hyperactive or otherwise bothersome child. I'm telling you, that's what you're feeding them. Clean up their diet. You're the boss. You go through the, if they bother you for so much stuff when you go to the grocery store and you can't take it and you give in, then hey, leave them at home. Don't take them to the grocery store. You need to be in control, and you need to be taking control as to what nutritionally these children are eating. I want to go through a few statistics here. Are these drugs really helping or hurting? In one study, after 3 years of treatment, researchers concluded that drugs such as Concerta, Ritalin worked no better than behavioral therapy. In fact, the co-author of the latest study, Professor William Pelham, said that there was no indication that these drugs worked any better than nothing in the long term. Furthermore, there's a growing body of evidence showing that these drugs are more than just ineffective. They're harmful. They're poisonous. They're toxic, taken in long term. Long-term side effects include stomach problems, insomnia, fever, aggression, restlessness, high blood pressure, irregular heartbeat, blood and lymphatic system problems. It's also mentioned earlier that a Florida doctor, Dr. Nelson Main, warned that long-term use of ADHD drugs can stunt growth. Research study included that children, those in late adolescence, and some adults. Dr. Main also adds that the American Heart Association also recommends that each child get a heart checkup prior to being put on drugs like Concerta and Ritalin. He said that there have been reports of sudden death and heart problems from the drugs when they've been administered and used in Canada. There's even U.S. There's even in the U.S. such deaths have been occurring. A Michigan 14-year-old died. He died due to his heart. Upon autopsy, this 14-year-old's heart showed clear signs of small vessel damage that was caused by Ritalin. The cause of death, stated in his death certificate, was from long-term use of Ritalin. 14-year-old. Long-term use. 14 years old. Long-term use. On his death certificate. Long-term use of Ritalin. Our FDA recommends a black box warning on Concerta and Ritalin, among other drugs. After public release in 2004, the FDA report stating that 25 people taking ADH drugs between 1999 and 2003 had died suddenly and 43 had experienced serious cardiovascular events, including strokes, cardiac arrest, heart palpitations. These are children. These are children. 19 deaths with children, and 26 of them, the other deaths, or 19 deaths and 26 other non-fatal cardiovascular conditions that they get to live with. So, there's a time and a place for medicine. Certainly there is. But there's a lot of things that you can take care of. And you can take care of those things naturally. You don't need to be running to the doctor all the time wanting a prescription drug for something. The other thing is the GMO foods, the foods that are all Roundup ready. These are all brain-harming toxins that take a massive toll on Americans, young and old. Alzheimer's is on the increase. It's stated now that over 500,000 people. It's making it now. It's moved up into the third most lethal disease. We've got a lot of research that is exposing the pesticides, the DDT. You think DDT isn't still around? It's still in our waterways. It's still in the dirt. It's still in the air. All of these things, this GMO food that's Roundup ready, this glyphosate, which is the active ingredient in Roundup. This was approved in 1974, and it's been aggressively used since then. It's estimated that 1 billion pounds of it is used on crops each year and every year. Come on, 1 billion pounds. That's in the United States alone. Doesn't that infuriate you? Doesn't it make you mad? I mean, one way to send a message to these people is to boycott all this garbage. Just boycott it. Quit buying it. Quit buying it. You have the power. And if you're not buying it, and it all finally gets to sit out there, and it finally does get to rot, kind of like, how long is it going to take? 6 months, 8 months, kind of talking about that orange, we go, we buy produce, we take it home, it smells like it, looks like it, you cut it open, and it's like, what's this? Dry, no juice? You think a well-done steak's dry, no juice? How about these crop-dusted foods? So it's time for you to take this information, take the authority and the power that you have to love and provide the best things you can for your loved ones, and get angry. And when you get angry, you're going to boycott all that garbage. Let it sit on their shelves and rot. That'll send them a good message. Start supporting small-scale organic farmers. This is all we've got time for.
But you know what? That you made a very good point, though. You, as an individual, need to take control.
You do, and we have more power. You have more power than you realize. It's like, boycott these foods. Quit buying these foods. And hey, if you want potato chips for your children, then buy some organic potatoes. Buy some higher, stronger olive oil that has a higher heat level. And every once in a while is a treat. Wash those potatoes real good. Cut them just sliver thin. And fry them and put a little Himalayan salt on them and make them a little snack like that if they want. But, go the extra mile. You're going to pay for all of this one way or another. You're either going to spend it on good quality food now, or you're going to pay it in insurance premiums, and you're going to pay it in a funeral.
I guarantee you'd rather spend it on food.
That's right. And so that's all we're about out of time. This is Kimberly Mateo. You've been listening to Kingdom of Healing, 710 Radio, 22.9, Moth, Denver, Colorado. You all take care, and I'll see you next week.